Hi, I'm Sam Hazledine, author of Unfair Fight. Welcome to this first video in this series where I'll share with you the 3 foundations that differentiate successful entrepreneurs from the 96% of businesses that ultimately go broke. Purpose, passion, and presence. Congratulations, you're in the few who do versus the majority who think and talk about it. The fact that you're watching this, the fact that you're watching this video puts you in that minority. So I'm excited you're here because when you bring that, I know there's a spark, there's a passion, there's a light that's burning. When you bring that to this, anything is possible. Success lies at the intersection of mindset and action. And this is the first video to help you get into that sweet spot where success becomes inevitable. But not just success. You don't just achieve what it is you want. You have that level of happiness and fulfillment and peace that comes with it. So I'm really excited about sharing this with you. Now, today we're talking about purpose. Finding out why you matter. Why is this important? Well, what I've learned, as I shared in a previous video, is that the world will very quickly learn if you're in it just for yourself. The world nourishes what contributes back to it. So you need to find out how you make the difference, how you're going to make that contribution, if you even want to be successful. I know there's a lot of people who think, finding that purpose and things like that is all rah-rah and woo-woo type stuff, but it really isn't. This is the basic stuff. This is the foundation. This is why this is the first foundation of success, because you need to find out how you're going to make your difference, how you're going to contribute, and how you're going to do that with excellence. Because I think purpose is 2 things. It's not just why you matter. It's not just making a difference, it's doing it with excellence. You've got to have the 2. Because we'll do so much more for other people, and we'll bring ourselves to such a higher level when we do it for other people than we'll just do for ourselves. And the thing about finding your purpose is it doesn't have to be hard. There's a lot of people who I think are freaking out, what's the meaning of life? Why am I here? Look, a better question you can ask yourself is, why do I matter? And probably even better, why do I want to matter? Now, finding your purpose isn't that difficult. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it in 6 minutes in this video. It's only going to take you 6 minutes to find your purpose. And I think that's really, really valuable time, don't you? Let's keep going, let's get to that. Because purpose is the foundation of all success. This is the depth of life. As I've said, a lot of people don't know what their purpose is. I think 99% of people are running around never getting clear on what their purpose is, on why they matter. And that's why so many people are aimless. I think we have an epidemic of people asking, what's my life about? And the thing is, when you find your purpose, then any single person, anyone can have unbelievable levels of success. They can make a massive contribution, and they can experience the joy and peace that comes with living a life like that. Any person, when they find their purpose, has that opportunity. I think that's pretty exciting. I shared with you in a previous video about my story about the head injury. Back in 2002, I was living a life that was aimless, I was directionless, I was lost. I was going off the rails, and I was living my life in a way that wasn't good for me, and it certainly wasn't good for anyone else. And I had the head injury on a night out drinking. Now, the head injury for me was a crisis. I think when we're in a crisis, we've got a decision to make. Do we want to return to the status quo? Or do we want to transcend the status quo to create a new level of success in our lives? When I just had a head injury, I needed to focus on the day-to-day, the minute-to-minute, the moment-to-moment. What was I going to do to get through the day? What was I going to do to take that next step, to pick myself up? Essentially, I needed tactics. To get out of a crisis, you need tactics. But I realized that just getting back to the status quo wasn't going to be good enough. If I got back to the status quo, I was going to live my life in a way that I've been living before, which got me into the problem that I was in, and my life was just going to spiral down and out of control. So I realized I had to. It wasn't something would be nice to do. I had to. I needed to transcend that status quo and create a new level in my life. Essentially, I had to develop a vision. I had to look to where my life would matter. I had to figure out why I mattered, what my purpose was. I needed strategy. To transcend your old status quo, to get to a new level, you need strategy. Tactics to get out of crisis, strategy to transcend it. Essentially the strategy for me is I had to find out why I mattered. So, I finished medical school. What mattered to me there was, all right, I needed to be someone. I needed to become a person who can start something and finish it. I wasn't that passionate about being a doctor, but I wanted to be the person who could finish what they started. The following year, after the head injury, I became part of the new school free ski movement. I became the next year I became the national champ, and that was why that mattered to me was it was taking our sport of skiing and making it cool again, creating something that kids wanted to do, and really contributing in a big way in that respect. Even though I just did it in a small way, the way skiing has evolved has contributed in a big way. I met my future wife Claire, and the meaning there is I had to become the person I needed to be to deserve her love, and that mattered to me because I wanted to share my life. I started MedRecruit. As working as a doctor, I could see so many junior doctors were struggling with the lifestyle. They weren't getting a lifestyle in medicine, and they were burning out. 25% of doctors were leaving medicine within 3 years of graduation. So I wanted to help them create a lifestyle. I wanted to partner with them. That mattered. That was my meaning. And now I want to share my lessons, the lessons that I've learned that have brought so much good into my life. I want to share them with you so you can have the same there with you. I want to show you that anything's possible. That's my meaning. I want to help you create any level of success you want in your life, because you can. It starts with purpose. Purpose makes the difference. This was the spark that got my life on track. So why do people struggle to find their purpose? Well, why are people so aimless? Why do we have this epidemic of people wondering what their life's about? Well, I think a big part of it is that they're confusing end goals with mean goals. Let me explain what that means. So a means goal is what society tells us that we should achieve to be quote-unquote successful. A certain job, certain business, certain grades at school, certain level of income, the stuff, the being with a certain person. It's the things. Now, these things aren't bad, but they're not the outcome of life. The end result of being human are the end goals. Loving, learning, traveling, growing, contributing, being happy. These are the end goals of life. And we're making the mistake of confusing means goals, the things, the stuff, with the end goals. And when we do that, we live our lives in a way that we don't feel for that fulfillment, because we're aiming at the wrong thing. We just got to aim at the right thing, and fulfillment doesn't become a goal. It just becomes, this is how I live. Me becoming a doctor, that was a great example of me confusing a means goal with an ends goal. The end is I wanted to make a contribution. I wanted to make a positive impact on society. And I thought that by being a doctor, that's how I was going to do it. So my focus became be a doctor, become a doctor. So I worked hard, I studied, and I got into medical school and did medical school. But I didn't truly love being a doctor. I confused the means, being a doctor, with the end, making a contribution. When I became an entrepreneur and started my business to make a contribution to a lot of doctors, I found my purpose there, and I was like, this is cool, this is exciting, and now sharing my message with you, this excites me. This is my purpose, to show you that anything's possible and to give you tools to do that. So when you get, but by focusing on the end now, I can be a lot more effective in achieving it. I don't spend all the time going after the means when I can go straight for the end. So enough preamble. How do we avoid the mistake? This is the really important part that I'm sure this is why you're watching the video. So I learned 3 questions from a guy, Vishaan Lakhani of Mind Valley, which I think can really help us to avoid this mistake, so that we create purpose in our life. What do I want to experience? How do I want to grow? And what do I want to contribute? What do I want to experience? What is my life all about? How do I want to grow? How do I want to progress myself? How do I want to stretch? And what do I want to contribute? What's my impact that I want to have? Why do I matter? These are so important, because experience is our life. It's how we live. We have our higher, we have our base needs as humans, and we have higher spiritual needs. Those needs are growth and contribution. So we need to figure out how we want to grow and how we want to contribute if we want to find our purpose. Put it all together, put these 3 sections of your life together, and you have an effective life. A fulfilling life filled with success, happiness, and peace. You answer these 3 questions, forget about the means and go straight for the end, this is the way I found it's one of the most powerful things to actually set effective goals in your life. You know, you go outside the confines of the system, and you drive straight at the heart of what it takes to be human, of what meaning of being happy means to you. This is where you find your purpose. This is it. So, we're going to do it right now. As I said, it's going to take just 6 minutes. So, grab a pen and paper, because you're going to need that. If you don't have it in front of you, just pause the video now, and then come back to me. All right, I'm assuming you got your pen and paper. Please don't watch this video without doing the exercise. It will be of very little use to you. And if you and you know, it'll be a lot less use as well as if you do it in your head. The first act of taking something ethereal, something out in the ether, and making it real is writing it down. Written goal, you know, writing things down is so important. So please take the time. Make sure you got the pen and paper to write this. So we're going to start with what do I want to experience. So get my phone out so I get my 2 minutes timer going, and we'll start now. What do I want to experience? Just ask yourself that question. You know, what are all the experiences you want to get out of life, so you know you'll have truly lived? You know, looking back when you're 100, sitting in your rocking chair, how are you going to look back and go, man, I lived. Man, I experienced life at a level that I truly loved. Think about incredible people, role models. You know, people who you love to be like, or to be, you know, parts of them you'd love to be like. What did they experience? How can you learn from them? Don't make money or time obstacles in this thing. You know, just pretend, you know, what would I experience if time and money weren't an issue? Because trust me, time and money don't have to be an issue. What you're going to learn in terms of creating a great business, time and money will never be an issue again. What do I want to experience in my health, my fitness? What level of vitality do I want to live at? What do I want to experience in my loving, and how much do I want to love openly? What level of relationships do I want to have? Think about family and friends. You know, what experiences do you want to share with them? Think about places you want to go. Where do you want to travel? Where do you want to visit? What do you want to look at? You know, do you want to go and you know, macchiato while you stare at the Eiffel Tower in France? Do you want to go on safari in Africa? Do you want to go to Northern Africa and work in an orphanage? You know, what experiences do you want to have? What sort of holidays do you want to experience? What sort of car do you want to drive? What experience do you want that to be? What sort of home do you want to live in? That's an experience, isn't it? You know, some of these are going to be beyond you. Some of these are going to be just really about you. You know, what do you want to create in your life? What experiences do you want to have in your business? You know, do you want to create a great business? Do you want to experience what it is to be, you know, in one of the fastest growing companies in the country, or experience what it's like to take your small business and turn it into a big successful business? What is it? What are the things you want to experience? So that's 2 minutes. So you've got some really good things there in front of you now. So we're going to move to the next one. You know, the reason we're doing this in 2 minutes is your subconscious is 30,000 times more powerful than your conscious. So you want to just let it run, let it go. Don't try and filter this and take, you know, 3 hours to do each one. Just whatever comes first is the right answer. So the next question is, how do I want to grow? So let me get my phone out again, and we'll start the timer. You know, we become fulfilled when we grow beyond ourselves, when we make progress in life. I'm going to keep talking to you while you're doing this. Keep writing, keep writing. How do you want to grow? How do you want to stretch? Remember, everything you want lies just outside your comfort zone. So how do you want to get there? Where do you want to go outside your comfort zone? What do you want to learn? You know, what intellectual skills do you want to develop? What books do you want to read? What courses do you want to do? What events do you want to go to? Do you want to grow as an international citizen? Do you want to learn new languages? What character traits do you want to develop? Leadership, honesty, integrity, confidence. You know, how do you want to grow as a person? In your career, in your business, what skills do you want to develop? What character do you need to develop to grow your business? Who do you need to become? You know, remember that success lies at the intersection of mindset and action. So how do you want to grow in terms of your mindset? You know, how you perceive the world, how you set goals and achieve those type of goals. Do you want to be the type of person? How do you want to grow in terms of the abundance you can create in your life? How do you want to grow in terms of the actions, the focused, deliberate actions that you take? Do you need to master marketing, sales, execution, strategy? What is it that you need to grow in to create the level of success you want? How do you want to grow in your spiritual life? Is it through prayer, through meditation? How do you want to grow your relationship with your Creator if you've got that belief? How do you want to grow in your health and in your fitness? What sort of targets would you set? Something that's beyond what you've done before. If you've struggled to ever get to the letterbox without breaking a sweat, then maybe you want to run a 5K run. Maybe you want to do a half marathon. Maybe you want to do a full marathon. Hey, maybe you want to go and do an Ironman. I don't know, but how do you want to grow? Do you just want to become regular at going to the gym? Do you want to grow in terms of your discipline so that you become the type of person you need to be? So that's 2 minutes. So you've got some great stuff there. Now the third thing, which is critically important to finding your purpose and going straight for the end, is how do I want to contribute? So I'm going to start the timer again, and we're off. What are all the ways that you want to contribute to the world? Why do you want to matter? What do you want to give? Remember, what you give, you get back tenfold. It's one of the surest paths to happiness. I think this is one of the reasons why purpose is so important, is because purpose is about what you're going to give, what you're going to contribute. Man, if you contribute to the world gives back to you so much more than you can ever possibly give. That's been my experience. How do you want to contribute to your friends, your family, to your business, to your staff, to your workmates, to your workplace, to your city, to your society, to the world, to your customers? How do you want to contribute? At what stage, if your business is in an early stage, you want to keep that contribution in your business to contributing to your customers and contributing to your staff. How do you want your staff to grow? Because if you can help them to grow, if you want to contribute to them, you want loyal employees, that's the best way to do it. If your business is a bit more mature, then where do you want to contribute beyond that? Are there charities you want to contribute to? Do you want to do some volunteer work? Think big, think small, whatever it is you want to do. Do you want to teach? Do you want to share your lessons with the world? Have you learned some unbelievably valuable things and you want to get them out? You want to share them with other people? That's why what I'm doing here now is I want to contribute to you. I want to create something that is of value to you. How do you want to contribute in your career, in your business, beyond that, to your colleagues, your clients? Where do you want to go? How much do you want to contribute? What we're talking about here is your legacy. This is how you make the world just slightly better, or a whole lot better. Can you imagine if all the business owners focused on how am I going to make the world just a little bit better? Imagine if everyone did that. What a great world we would live in. Start with yourself. Start with yourself. Start with your contribution, your giving back, your way of doing this. So that's it. 6 minutes. Right now, on that paper in front of you, you have your purpose. It might be one thing, but it might not be. It might be a combination of things. And I think people get so caught up in, I've got to have one thing. My purpose has got to be this. Don't get hung up about it. Look at what you've written. It's there. It's there right in front of you now. And it's going to be, it might be one, it might be a combination of those things, but it's right there. Purpose underpins everything. Contribution, experience. Contribution. Should have checked that before I wrote it, shouldn't I? We'll check that. We'll fix that one now. As you can see, I'm just shooting this video in my office here. So, how do I want to people grow there? So how do you want to grow? What do you want to experience? And what do you want to contribute? Purpose underpins success. It's the first foundation of it. All fulfillment, all success comes from finding that purpose. And what's the outcome of purpose? Let me tell you a story. There's a young man. Goes to, he wants to be rich, he wants to be successful, and he hears about this guru who's unbelievably successful. And he goes to the guru and he says, Guru, I want to be successful. Teach me how. And the guru says, of course. Meet me at the beach tomorrow at 4 a.m. And the guy says, no, you didn't hear me. I don't want to learn how to swim. I want to learn how to be successful. And so the guru says, look, meet me at 4 a.m. at the beach. And the guy says, all right, I'll play your game. So he turns up at the beach, dressed for success. He's got a suit on, he's ready to go. should have worn his bathers, because the guru is already knee deep in the water. And the guru says, join me in the water. And the guy says, look, I'm in my suit, you know, just tell me the secret of success. He says, join me in the water. So the guy walks into the water, and he's not happy about it, but he's, all right, I'm in the water. What's the secret of success? And the guru says, let's walk deeper. And the guy starts getting pissed off, and he's like, look, I didn't come here to learn how to be a lifeguard. I want to be successful. Teach me the secret of success. And the guru says, look, you're already partway in, let's walk deeper. The guy says, all right, I'll play along with the old guy. So they walk out, and they get up to about chest deep, and they turn to each other. And the man looks at the guru and he says, Guru, share with me the secret of success. And the guru says, of course. And he reaches out, and he grabs his head, and he pushes him under the water. And he holds the man under the water. And the man's like, this is just crazy. The old guy's lost his marbles, but I'll play along. He's going to come up, and he'll teach me some secret, but he's a bit crazy, so I don't know if it's going to be the secret of success, but play along. Anyway, 30 seconds go by, and he's starting to get a little, he's running out of air, and he's like, all right, this is getting a bit serious now. A minute goes by, and now his lungs are screaming, and all he can think about is, I got to get air. And he thinks the guru's going to pull me up, but the guru doesn't. So eventually he just thrashes around, punches the guru in the solar plexus, pulls his head up, and takes a breath. And he looks at the guru. And as he's about to punch the guru, he says, why won't you tell me the secret of success? And the guru says, of course I'll tell you the secret of success. When you want success as much as you wanted air in that last moment, then and only then will you be successful. The behavioural pillar of ongoing success is hunger. You've got to get hungry. You've got to get hungry. You've got to want it more than anyone else. You know, when I started my business, we were going up against a monopoly. It was David and Goliath. If I hadn't wanted it more, I wouldn't have found all the ways to compete against them. I would have been like everyone else and gone, hey, well, I can't compete against them. But I didn't. I educated myself. I was hungry. I wanted it more. They had more experience, more money, more resources, you know, bigger management team, better government. They had everything better than I did. But I was hungrier. And because I was hungrier, we became the market leader. You know? It's so important. But purpose alone isn't enough. You've got to find the fuel, the fire, the passion. What we've done here now is the first step. And this is the foundation of why you matter, why you make a difference, why you contribute. But in the next video, I'm going to give you a framework to find that passion, that drive, that enthusiasm, that love. I'm going to give you some concrete steps, because, you know, passion, people can think, well, how do I find my passion? Look, here's the thing about passion that I've found. Essentially, it comes down to saying yes to what gives you purpose and no to what doesn't give you purpose. You know, passion is as much about what you do as what you don't do. And I think that's a mistake that people make, is they don't realize that. I'm going to give you some concrete steps to do that, and you'll find your driving force, so that you're living with energy, with enthusiasm, loving what you do. And you know, you springing out of it, life is exciting. Life is fantastic when you find that passion. All men are created equal. Some just work harder in pre-season. When you find your purpose, then working harder in pre-season won't be a problem. When you combine that with passion, you know, you're never going to have to motivate yourself again, because motivation is just one of those things that people have to go for when they don't have it. But when you've got that inherent drive, that hunger, you know what you're here for and you're passionate about it, motivation isn't a problem. Motivation is a problem. Pulling you back in sometimes is a problem. Just talk to my wife about that. So, thanks for watching this. You know, thanks for taking the time to watch it. Review your answers. Look at what you've written today. Refine it. Make some decisions. Your purpose is there. It might be one thing, it might be a combination of things. You know, success depends on finding that purpose. Clearly, success doesn't depend on handwriting or writing the right thing on the page, but success does depend on finding your purpose. You know, I'm really looking forward now to the next video where we spend time developing the framework to take your purpose and create passion as well. Because then you know what you're going for, you know why you're here, you know why you matter, and you bring a level of enthusiasm and drive and intensity and love that just make you absolutely unstoppable. That's when you've got meaning in your life, and it's a whole lot of fun. So thanks for taking the time today. You're in the few who do versus the many who don't. There's a spark in you that means that whatever you want in your life is possible. You just need to know exactly what to do. We're starting that process. You found your purpose. Next, we're going to find your passion. All right, so I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And until then, live with purpose.